Hi felters, and welcome. In this video today we're going to look at the possible injuries and strains that needle felting does put on your body, surprisingly, and ways in which you can overcome them. First one we're going to talk about is the stabbing technique. Basically, you hold the needle gently. You don't need to really hold it tense. I love to have a little bit of black tape around the top just to make it more comfortable. I don't do it around all my needles, and it's a gentle stabbing. Okay, it is not a there should be no major tension within the hands for this. So first off, it is how you are holding the needle and how you are stabbing, sounds awful, how you are felting the item. Make sure it is gentle. You do not need to go in really deep. You shouldn't really be hitting your mat underneath. Even with a thinner felt, you should just be in the upper layers. And even just doing that much of the needle is going in, and that is where the barbs are on the end. If you're going in past the barbs, they're not really doing anything. So nice, gentle, relaxed stabbing motion is the first off to help you prevent getting any tension. But basically, the tendons and the muscles and the ligaments all within the hand, these were the things that hurt for the first couple of months when I started to ramp it up. I had a lot of pain in through the wrist area and in through the hands. Ways in which I overcame this for my hand was definitely frozen packet of peas on there. I think peas are just the simplest thing, and they mold. You put a tea towel around them and then put the peas on for 10 minutes. And I alternated with hot water bottles as well, sometimes popping a hot water bottle on the top. So I did a lot of, if it was really bad, I rested them, absolutely rest them for 24 hours. But hot and cold compress worked really well. Now, I also get carpal tunnel syndrome. And when I had carpal tunnel, these I found fantastic. And I have to admit, these are just simple wrist supports. And you just pop them on like that. And when I got really bad, I put these on overnight, and it's got a metal support there, and it just stops you having to use any muscles in order to keep your hand still. You can wear them during the day, but it's a bit of a pain because when you're washing your hands, you have to take them off, and then people are always saying, "Oh, have you hurt yourself?" But these were fantastic. I just popped them on overnight. So easy to put on, and just even if you wear them for a couple of hours overnight, they are brilliant. The Velcro got a little bit itchy just there, so I just popped a little plaster on to stop it from rubbing. But yeah, these are fantastic. I'll link them below. Along with that, a lot of people suffer from arthritis, and you can have compression gloves which work really well for that. I've not ever trialed any myself, and one that's been mentioned quite a lot are the Tommy Copper gloves too. Next up is simply the length of time that you sit there doing it. So what have you got to do? It's not difficult. You have to get up every so often if you are going to be doing a lot of needle felting, and I literally do probably between 4 and 6 hours a day. And when I first started ramping it up, it took me about 6 months to get used to it all. But if you are going to be sitting there for any length of time, number one, it is really a lot better if you're sitting at a desk where you're raised and you're sitting up at the work. The issue is, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but sitting at a desk just helps support you and your back first off. If you're doing it on the sofa, it's possible, loads of people do it on the sofa, but if you're starting to have problems with your back, then you should be going to sit in a proper chair. So if you sit somewhere, we get carried away and we forget, and after an hour you get up and it's all stiff. So maybe set your watch so that you remind yourself to get up. Try and get up and get a drink every 20 minutes. Don't let yourself sit there for too long. The next step of sitting there is you should try and sit up straight. We all know to do this. So I had a lot of commissions before Christmas, and the trouble was I was doing an awful lot of felting and I was hunched over, and in the end I had to go to a sports physiotherapist because I had a lot of pain in my back, and it started in a knot in my back and then it spread all across my back. So it was really painful, and it wasn't getting better, and I was doing a lot of stretches. But the physiotherapist said basically it's the fact that you are looking down that is the problem. So I can ride horses, I can muck out stables, and a year ago, or it's a bit more than that, I walked a marathon. So I consider myself to have a reasonable level of fitness, but sitting at a table for 4 hours, I wasn't able to do. It's the looking down, that's the problem. So along with that, there's something that you can use. Let me just get it. One of these. A lot of people have mentioned that these are quite useful. So it's one you would get for a laptop or for a recipe book, and you put your work on that and you lift your work up a bit. You do have to hold on to your work. I'll show you it in action. So here it is on the desk. It's nice and simple. So I've raised it up a bit. You've got lots of different angles, so you can have it slightly less. I wouldn't have it too much more than this. And it's raised up, but you do have to hold on to your work because it's going to roll off. So that's a bit annoying. But the thing is, it raises your head angle up a bit, so that's a good thing. However, I have to say, I really hate using it, and I really have to force myself to use it. It's an option. If you can do it, that's great. This is one of the cheapest ones I could find at about £20 because I didn't want to waste too much money, and I force myself to use it every now and again. But it's worth trying if you've got particularly bad neck or shoulders. Next up is obvious. Have a decent chair. Make sure it's got some sort of lumbar support, or if your chair's not particularly good, you can get yourself a lumbar support in there. My one at my desk goes up and down, and it doesn't look that good. It's a gaming chair basically, so it wasn't too expensive, but it really supports my back. So decent chair is something to think about. The next one to talk about is the tension we hold within our jaw, and it's remarkable what we do. I know that when I used to do horse riding, and if I was doing like some really difficult schooling movements, or I was really concentrating or jumping or something, I knew that I would clench in here, and dentists always tried to get us to buy those plate things that you wear at night to stop the clenching. But it happens when you're needle felting. I will try and insert a footage of me. When I video myself felting, I sit there doing this, going with my mouth, and it's quite embarrassing really, but I don't even know I'm doing it. So think about what your jaw is doing and relax it. Give it a stretch out every so often. It will surprise you how much tension you are holding when you are concentrating doing your needle felting. So a little bit of a relax every now and again through the jawline. Here I am with my wobbly mouth. I'm not drinking tea, I'm not talking to anyone. Why is it moving? One of the last things I'm going to mention is eyesight and working on black wool. It is a nightmare. Anyone who's done it knows all of a sudden you think, I just can't see it. What am I doing? So work near the daylight if you can. Or the other thing I really recommend is a fantastic light. Now this light has worked really well for me. It's great for videoing as well. So whatever you do, make sure you get a really good light, because you will be straining your eyes so badly. And this light has helped me do all my needle felting at night. I don't particularly recommend you have to buy this one because it might not be the look that you want, but it's so bright. I love it. So make sure you have a decent light when working on needle felting. So I've gone through most things I want to talk about. Hold your needle gently, don't stab too hard, make sure you get up every 20 minutes or so, don't hunch over, that's where an issue lies. You've got things that you could raise your work up a bit. You don't have to buy that thing that I talked about. You could put it up on some books or something. Make sure you have no tension in your jaw. Make sure you have good lighting and a good chair. So those are most of the things I wanted to talk about. Then basically I had all of that. I was doing lots of stretches and I had a lot of pain. In the end I gave up, and because I know I do this quite a bit, I paid to go to a physiotherapist. It cost me £42, which in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's not a lot of money, but sometimes we can't all afford the odd £42 here or there. But I'm so glad I did. And he had this special massage machine. He's given me some funny exercises to do, ones that, because I was stretching and doing things that I thought might help it, but I wasn't actually touching it at all. And his exercises are far more specific. And I was with him for about an hour actually, and it's helped so much. And I might go back for one more session. I'm not sure. I think I'm okay. The exercises have really helped. Here's me doing some of the funny exercises. So there's a lot of stretching round and where you put your other hand and your other arm. So it's very specific to my injury. The other thing I got was this bamboo pillow, which is a really good memory foam support pillow. So it's not a soft pillow at all, but it's lovely. One pillow's too small, two pillows too big. Sometimes that's sort of how I find it. But this memory foam is right in between, and I absolutely love it. The bamboo bit is what it's made out of. You can unzip it to wash it. It's hypoallergenic. So I'm so happy I got this. I think this is really, really helping me, and it wasn't much. And then the other thing, I put this down as a birthday present because it was quite a bit. It was about £90, and it's a chair massager. So you put it in a chair and sit on it. It's got a little remote control. It can do upper, lower back, and it's got these, they're really strong, and it works really well. It did not cure me in any way, shape or form, but it's really nice to sit on and to just have 20 minutes. So it's a lovely one. I've showed it to you. The heat button doesn't work at all. Don't even worry about the heat side of it, but it's a very strong massage, and that comes down so it's a little bit softer. So that's it for the video. Hopefully some of these have helped. If you've had any issues or problems, put them in the comments below, and if you've found any solutions, let us know. Thanks so much, guys. See you again soon.